Isn't Amplified just so cool? Way better than Superflat. Just not for redstone contraptions. Hey everyone, I'm Clue. Today we're going to be starting a new little series. We're going to be going over a few different tutorials on how to use command blocks effectively. I do a lot of command block projects, but most of the time I just show off the functionality. I don't actually go through the steps to build the systems I make. So, that's what we're going to do. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you learn something and find it interesting or useful. On that, starting off, we need the right kind of space. So, I think we're going to make some custom TNT. I think that's a good starting point. Although TNT is useful to a degree, I think we could do it a bit better than just a little bang. Yeah, that's not going to work. I need to clear this area up so we can actually build. Now that's some better TNT. So the command block chains are going to be nice and simple. All we need is 6, 2 repeating, and then 4 chain, and set up in this same order. So we have a first sequence and a second sequence. And all we're doing with the first sequence is we're detecting when the player drops a piece of TNT from the inventory, not placing it on the ground. So we're using the execute at command, detecting a entity, in this case item, and then we're detecting its NBT data. So it has to be a TNT item and also needs a name. So this way we can tie it to the use of an anvil and also make it unique. So it's not just drop any block of TNT to trigger the effect, but we actually can create all different ones. So we'll call it Better TNT. So display name Better TNT on ground, so it's not as soon as it leaves the inventory, it's when it actually collides with the ground. And then all we're doing is summoning a TNT block at its location with a set fuse of 100. So this is 5 seconds. Every 20 ticks is a second, so 5 times 20 gives us 100. And then we also need to specify a tag. So we're just going to call it Better. This allows us to label the TNT entity and do the rest of our commands off of that. The second part of this chain is to clean up the item so that TNT doesn't endlessly spawn. So again, it's exactly the same. We're just executing at the item, Minecraft TNT, tag, name Better TNT, and then of course we're killing it. So kill, same thing, at the entity, that's TNT, and named Better TNT. Nice and simple. So we can go ahead and turn both of them on. Then, for the next sequence, we have to replicate it and make it look as though it's actually TNT, because we don't want the TNT to explode naturally. We want to simulate its effect and then tie in our own functionality. So we're executing at the entity tag Better. So this is the spawn TNT, and we're going to only run the command when its fuse hits 1, so right before it actually explodes. From there, we're simulating all of its natural effects. So we're using the run particle command to generate the explosion particles. So we're generating at the block at the middle. Since the block height is 1, we're going to the center. And then we can also specify a radius. So we're going to do 5 in every direction. So a little bit bigger than TNT. Now we need a speed, so you can just leave this as 1, and then we need the actual entity count. So for every number you put in here, it will generate 1 particle of the explosion, the circular motion. So 1, 5, 10. If we're doing a 5 by 5 radius, I'm going to say we need quite a lot. So I'm going to do 100. We'll see how that goes. Turn on. Next command. We've got the particle, now we need the sound effect. So again, we're executing at the tagged entity Better when its fuse hits 1, and this time we're doing the play sound command and using the entity generic explode. This is the general sound effect used by TNT. We're giving it to every player localized at the TNT block, and we might as well specify volume just to make sure we can hear it. Third up, we're doing execute at, you guessed it, tag NBT fuse 1, but here's where we can actually supplement the effect. So what do we want the TNT to actually do? Well, I'm going to use the fill command. So I've gone ahead and set the fill command to 10 blocks in every direction. So now this TNT should have a lot more bang to it. I've also set it to replace all the blocks with air, and of course to destroy, so they still drop their entities. After that, we just have to clean up the command chain. So all we're doing is killing the entity, tag Better, NBT, fuse 1. So this means the TNT is not going to explode naturally, we're simulating all of its actual effects. And go ahead and turn everything on. So now all we have to do is name the TNT. So we go ahead and change it to Better TNT. We're all set to go, and we can clean up the area. Just have to drop it. There, it's summoned our TNT block. Kaboom. and it cleared out a 10 by 10 square region. Granted, that was a bit excessive because of all the entity drops. So we can go ahead and fix that, since I do just want to use it to clean up. We don't need it to actually drop the entity. So for instance, if we just change it to replace, it will now not drop any of the entities, meaning that it should be a lot less lag. Go ahead, drop another block. There we go, much better. Clean up over here. And here. What about here? Much smoother. Now we have a nice open space for our next project. Hope you enjoyed. Are they gone? Cool. Let's go over some more of the technical elements for anyone interested. So, first one. Execute at entity type equals Minecraft item. So the execute command is really useful. You can set a command to be pinpointed to a location of anything you want, a player, in this case an entity. So we're targeting Minecraft item, which is any item on the ground. Because of that, we then need to specify its actual entity type. So we're searching for an item that has the ID Minecraft TNT. So you have to drop exactly a TNT block to trigger this command. After that, to make it even more specialized, we're using the tag, display, name, text, better TNT. So this is the general layout for using an anvil to label something. You can get a lot more customization out of it if you use your own name generator. So you can add italics, bold, color, and you can personalize it a lot better, make it so the player doesn't have access to it in general means. Otherwise, in this current format, anyone who can use an anvil can name a block to utilize your effect. After that, we're also using the onGround 1B. So this is a true or false statement just to detect whether or not the item has hit the ground. Obviously, we don't want summoning the TNT as soon as the player throws it. We only want to summon the TNT when it hits the ground. After that, just run summon. So we can use tilde because we're already pinpointing the location to the dropped item. And then we're specifying the fuse and then a tag. So tags ... better. Then to kill it, we're using the same parameters. So we're searching for the item and then killing said item. You could also get away with just killing, if you do sort nearest limit 1, it should always target itself because obviously it is the item closest to itself. After that, we're using the particle command. So execute at, since we've tagged the TNT, that's the only parameter we need to use. We don't have to specify a specific entity, but we also want to make sure we're targeting the fuse right at the last second, since then it actually acts like TNT and has a build-up where it slightly expands before actually exploding. And then the particle command, nice and simple. Minecraft has a lot of inbuilt ones, so we're just using explosion. We have to set its location or size. So we're using tilde again, since it's executing at the block in TNT. We're moving it up half a block on the y-axis so that it's centered. And then we specify a radius. So these digits are in every direction. So this 5 means it's going both in the positive and negative axis. After that, speed, the majority of animations just utilize 1. And then after that, we have the particle count. This allows us to increase the number of explosions that occur. Since we're making it nice and big, we need a lot of explosions. Next up, sound. Nice and easy. Minecraft has a load of inbuilt sound effects. So you can just type in Minecraft ... and then you can cycle between either block, entity, or item, and then find the sound effect you're looking for. There's a lot of online resources to pinpoint the sound effects utilized by certain blocks. After that, we're setting it to master, which means that the player will always hear it. Usually on these types of projects, I like to set it as ambient, so the player can control it more freely, since that's the easiest soundbar to control. Master, obviously, is all sound effects. After that, we're playing it for all players, but localized at the TNT block. We're also setting the volume to 50, just to make sure we could hear it. I would also leave this off so that the player can control it, because this does override any of the player's actual sound. After that, we're doing our effect. So this is the utility you can really change. So if you just do execute at tag equals better, MBT fuse equals 1, and then run, here you can specify whatever effect you want. You want to summon lightning? Go ahead, do summon lightning. You want to summon mobs? Go ahead, summon mobs. Fill, nice and easy. Effect give, you want TNT to provide buffs or damaging effects. You can make a TNT block of slowness, anything you want. You just tack it on right after the run. So of course we're using the fill command just to simulate a larger explosion area. And then lastly, we're cleaning up, we're killing the block before it actually explodes, so it doesn't double dip, essentially. The best thing about this chain is you can add in more features if you want. This should also be conditional.